What's up, guys? This is Acidic Roots. It's time for part 5 of Let's Play Super Mario Bros. 2. And the game is pulling out the tricks pretty quickly. You're going to be encountering these sorts of guys. And this is where you got to pay attention. So obviously, if you were playing on the Nintendo, I'm telling you, there was hell to pay for a lot of you folks out there. I mean, I know some of you guys are well in your 30s now, but this is ridiculous. So I had the misfortune of almost getting to Wart before having to use cheats. And so I made it through World 7 too. I got to the point where, you know, that bird statue that you always go in its mouth and end the stage, it attacks you, and I couldn't beat it, and then I got a game over. I said, fuck it, I'm not, you know, gonna try to do this with only 5 lives, so I just said, you know, I'm gonna have a game genie. And I'm gonna create some sort of bonus, I'm gonna come up with it over the coming weeks, and, you know, for every time that I took a hit with the game genie cheat on, I'm gonna do something. It might be a burp video, not really sure what it's gonna be yet, but I think I'm gonna do that a lot of the times anytime I have to use Game Genie for these sorts of video games. I'm just gonna say, you know, if I get a game over, or if I lose 10 lives, then there's gonna be like 10 videos where I burp, or 10 burps in a video or something like that. Maybe Frenchie will help me out, but the whole thing has been, and you can obviously get up there and get a mushroom if you have Luigi, but it's not worth it. So we are going to fight this character, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of this green one, the green Birdo. You're going to be seeing more of him or her, and the whole thing is that one only spits fireballs, so you're basically going to have to be on your toes. They like to give you one mushroom block on top of that, so just understand that sort of thing. But in the Game Boy Advance version, they gave these characters voices, so that was one thing. And I kind of felt like if Nintendo would have went with 32, you know how the Nintendo 64 is 64, well, that stands for 64-bit. Like, this is 16-bit. If they would have done a 32-bit, I think the two-dimensional games probably would have had voices and stuff. Would have been pretty interesting, because a lot of PlayStation games that came out, like in 95 through 97, the two-dimensional ones, they were far better than the Super Nintendo games. You just have to look at Castlevania or Tomba or some of these type games. But the PlayStation, or the GBA version of this game, every character I think had a voice. And I've got a Coca-Cola next to me. I'm gonna take a sip of that. I'll tell you, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't even care. I can drink Coke any hour of the day. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. And my cat wants into my bedroom for some reason, but I've got another 19 minutes before I can do anything. So I would have uploaded this on Tuesday. I've been doing video games every Tuesday, but I just didn't get around to it. I was too tired. Something just my energy just went kaput yesterday, which doesn't happen too commonly. I mean, that was, you know, I didn't have an energy drink yesterday on top of that, so surprisingly enough, maybe I'm getting dependent on those shits, I'm not sure, but you know, just a few energy drinks if you're curious as to what goes through my system. Red Bull, the Balls drink, which is BAWLS. It's a fancy little drink that may not necessarily be an energy drink, but it's got some good taste. They recently added a new flavor called the ginger balls, and that one's green. But they have them in root beer and cherry and orange also. So I drink those, but there's only one store in my town that has them. So that's the only problem with that. But so watch out, because these guys will shoot two, and you know, it's really hard to tell when they're going to. That's something I paid attention to. Obviously, you've got these spider things, and then on top of that, you know, you've got that happening. There was really nothing I could have done there, which was pretty retarded. But so I get my first game over, which basically means I have to beat 5-1 again. And I'll tell you, I was not happy with this. There were plenty of moments in this game where I did not want to do this, but I did manage to beat 19 out of 20 stages without cheats. So, you know, I'm starting to realize that, you know, having 100% accuracy, I mean, there needs to be something in place to reward people for doing at least 95%. You know, because that's still good. You know, 95 is, you know, if you're talking in school terms, that's still an A, which, you know, if you're doing better than 95% of people, you can't complain about that. So, but Wart, you know, obviously I knew I couldn't have beaten Wart. Just when I fought him with cheats, I probably got hit more than 12 times, so there's no way I could have gotten all the way to him off of 5 lives without taking more than 2 hits. So I really don't think they gave you more than 1 mushroom in that stage. Just a fair warning, just for folks who want to try this game on their own. I mean, it will make a man out of you if you're a gamer. Same thing with Lost Levels. I actually think Lost Levels is probably a little bit easier than this game. But that's where the mushroom is, and you know, I'm going to insist. I said, you know, I need some coins, so I don't know. I've noticed that I have a tendency to, well, I don't know. I'm gonna say I have a tendency to get like stars, but yeah. I said, fuck it, you know, I'm gonna get like 8 coins here. Now, whole thing is Nintendo has been a little bit curious lately, and the main thing about that is I don't really know what they're going to be up to for 2018 and beyond. Because normally there's a holiday game, but Star Fox just came out, and there hasn't been a ton of little things for them to do and stuff. So we're just kind of at a lull at this point. I mean, obviously there was that game called Ukulele, which is the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, which I'm kind of glad that they did a game like that finally, because you know, the last time we had a game like that was probably Super Mario Galaxy or so. This hasn't been happening, and so obviously it makes it seem as if everyone was a kid back in 1998, since, you know, 3-dimensional adventure games just did not happen that much, you know, after about 2003 or so. I mean, you know, Jak and Daxter, Jak wound up, you know, I think there was foul language in that game, and he committed crimes. And Ratchet and Clank was, you know, Sony had them be adult mascots, so there just wasn't a ton of, you know, games like Donkey Kong and that sort of stuff. It's a sorely missed genre, in other words. But So let's see if I can complete this with 6 lives. So I basically lost 7 times out of 8 with those coins that I received, but I did manage to get 2 lives. So if that's for your amusement, yeah, I suppose it's not that big a deal if you find that funny. But, you know, I've laughed a few times. I've watched this LP a couple times with other people, and it can be funny when they don't get the extra lives. But the sad thing about it is you need them. I mean, you're definitely going to be cursing your luck when you don't get the extra lives because, you know, it's pathetic that you have to do all 3 stages over if you get a game over. So, but, so it is nighttime, and yeah, that was from my Coke, and so there's a lack of towns in this game. I've noticed. I think the citizens tend to get to imprison, which happened a lot in Nintendo games because they didn't really have the capabilities to develop citizens that you could talk to. But I mean, actually, when I beat the game, it said that the citizens were just like those that flying character up there. Those are called Bezos, but it was said that they're called subcons, and that they're just blue versions of that red character you just saw. So, but I'm not sure I would want to live in subcon. There was really not that much details mentioned about it. So this is, you know, make sure you pay attention to what I do when I finally get this right. So, as far as where we are in politics, I'll offer a brief little sentiment about politics, which is Trump just fired the FBI director. So we've got some new order getting ready to come in, and the FBI director was James Comey. He had a pretty decent presence in 2016, and you know, there's folks who say he was one of the main reasons why Hillary Clinton didn't win the election last year. Whether or not that is true, I mean, obviously all it takes is just going to a rally and you can understand that her, you know, if I would have went to rallies like in Wyoming and Minnesota and some of these places and seen what people were actually thinking of Hillary Clinton, I probably would have been able to know before, you know, 20 or 2 hours before the election was over that she would have lost. Because the news and every place was saying last year that Hillary was going to be the winner. And so that was and, you know, by the way, you can get rid of that fish, which I do recommend doing. I didn't do it, but I just didn't think to do it. So you can stand on the fish and throw it at the enemy. So this will actually make you a bit nervous depending upon how long this battle takes. I mean, really, because if you throw the egg short, you're gonna have to dodge another 3 rounds, and then it's a pain in the arse. Yeah, that bird thing you're gonna have to fight. That's Billy. For those who don't remember, big old bad old Billy. Billie Jean. But so yeah, at this point I just decided to say the princess. I've said this many times, but I just did not see the relevance to trying to make some of these jumps without without having the float ability. I'm losing my train of thought. Watch out for the bombs. They're gonna... The thing is, not only can their explosions hurt you, but walking into them can hurt you, so... It's double nasty. Alright, I finished the Coke. Now... My uncle mentioned that he said that there wasn't much that was better than a cold Coke, and I thought, you know, that probably is true, but I can still drink a warm Coke. That was something else. Like, I didn't have a Coke in the fridge, so I went and got one, and it was warm, and you know, really, I used to think that warm soda was worse for your teeth than cold soda was, but the main thing is yeah, this is pissing me off, by the way, this little segment right here, so you have to be precise with the bomb throwing, but yeah, it probably is true that cold Cokes are, you know, great, but I can still wind up drinking a warm one, and I've done that for a while. I mean, really, I would, you know, you think most of the time, depending upon who you are, you know, Cokes, sodas are only meant to be drank on special occasions. I think that's how it was back in the 70s and stuff. It was, you know, around the time when this game came out. There wasn't, I don't even remember if there was Mountain Dew back in 1988. I think there was, but there wasn't Livewire. There wasn't Code Red. Gaming drinks didn't exist back then. Pizza Hut was king, and Pizza Hut was king. Pizza was pretty boss. I don't even think there was stuffed crust pizza back then, but I don't know if popcorn was a game or drink. I don't know if Doritos were around. Taco Bell was, you know, a great place to go. Everything has changed since about 2006 or so. I mean, there's so much stuff has gone on. You know, the Generation Z or the Centennials, whichever you want to say, the group of people who were born between like 1998 and 2005. These folks, I mean, I may have been spoiled on the internet, but these guys are spoiled on Skype. I mean, that's just the whole thing to it. Having that tendency, growing up into YouTube, but so that was kind of the thing. I mean, I noticed something. I mean, like I was saying about Pizza Hut, how it used to be pretty much one of the, in my opinion, I thought it was one of the slickest places to eat. But really, there's not that many Pizza Huts where you can actually go and dine in anymore. So you just get it, you order it, they either deliver it to you or you come and pick it up. Cool little spot, you know, it actually was a decent arcade joint back in the 90s. So. Now. My impatience is getting the best of me here. These guys, I think, yeah, this is like a giant tree or something. I forgot to pay attention to what it was, but yeah. So now basically we're in the sky and we've got to get ready to take on the boss. So there's 3 minutes left, and that wasn't a smart idea to do that. So you will need the magic carpet, and we're promptly going to get one. Now, Obviously, in later stages, you're going to wind up riding the birds, and you're going to have to make some jumps while on the bird. So get used to the sky transportations. I really think they need to make another Earthbound game or another Mother game, however you say it. I mean, they said that they would never do it again after Mother 3, but they haven't even brought that to America. So, I've been having a real hard time trying to finish up that game. Like, I want to do it, but at the same time, I mean, it's long. I just don't have the patience to watch role-playing games too much anymore. I probably will. I mean, I'm definitely. I feel like that's something that I should do is watch Earthbound and get that done. Yep, there's another boss. I like this guy. He's kind of an ass goblin. It's a good word for you guys out there. You know, if you're under the age of like 15 or 12, you know, ass goblins. But I think I hit him twice there. I don't remember if he kills me. Yeah. I got 2 more shots. Can I do it? Will this wind up? How many times will I die and what will happen? Well, how many times will I take a hit? This is actually one of the easier bosses, though. You only see him once, but this pales in comparison to the 3-headed snake, and that's World 6's last boss, and then the Birdo enemies, which you're gonna fight in harder sentiments later. Alright, so that sums it up. We get to World 6, no bonus. Stay tuned. Next Tuesday there'll probably be more. And looks like a pyramid. Subscribe for more fun.